Hey guys, in this video we're going to review the Masterbuilt Sportsman Elite 30-inch electric smoker. I've had this smoker for about 3 years now, and I've smoked pretty much everything in it. I've smoked brisket, chicken, pulled pork, deer sausage, nuts and cheese, pretty much everything, and I have a ton of videos. If you want to check out my previous videos of meats that I've smoked in here, go check them out, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Please subscribe. Subscribe! Okay, now that you're done subscribing, let's get to the review. Alright, so if you look on the side here, there is a pretty heavy duty latch that opens up and it's adjustable. You can tighten it, and this latch operates to keep the seal of the door tight. There's a nice rubber seal that runs alongside the door to keep all of the smoke inside and the heat. I've never had a problem with smoke leaking through this door, but when it gets a bit loose, you can always just adjust this wing nut here on the latch. It closes like that. It's super easy and good to go. So opening this guy up, turn it around. So as you can see, the inside starts metallic silver, and you pre-season it by coating the inside with oil and then running it for the first time. As you can see, it's pretty black in here. I haven't cleaned it probably as much as I should, but usually after every smoke, you should take a damp rag and wipe everything down. Now it has a rack system here. I don't have the 2 racks up there. Usually I do, but usually you can put racks all the way up to the top. It's got a sloped tray that runs down to the water tray. You can fill that up with water and it retains moisture in the heating chamber. Moving down to the heating unit itself, this is an 800 watt heater. It has a heating element similar to a stovetop. And it has a chip tray where you can load your pellets, sawdust, or chips into this tray. It sits on top of this burner, and then that's what creates the smoke and the heat. Slide that back in. It's also got a handy drip tray at the bottom. You can cover this in foil if you want an easier cleanup. It's got a hole in the middle, and the drippings drop down into this lower drip tray if there's too many drippings in the main compartment. One problem I have had is that sometimes a lot of condensation builds up and it drips down through the heating chamber, and it sort of splays out the bottom, and it isn't always captured by this tray. So sometimes when I am cooking, there's a lot of water and moisture underneath this rig, so be cognizant of that. You might want to put a piece of cardboard underneath it just to soak up any water that might get onto it. It's also got a chip loader on the side, so you can load about a cup of chips or pellets or whatever into here, and then you can twist it when it's inside and it'll dump the chips into the tray. This makes it easier to load in chips while you're cooking, and you won't have to open the whole door and take the tray out and put the new chips in and lose all the smoke that you're building up. This hole in the side is also great for attaching a cold smoking unit. So overall, it's very nicely insulated. If you're cooking and you touch this, it'll be cold to the touch. Ton of insulation in there. The digital controls at the top, we'll get to that in a second, but it's really set it and forget it. Really easy to use. So moving up to the digital display, you have an on-off button, pretty easy to use. It's pretty much just plug and play. Then you set the temperature, and this goes up to, I think, 275 Fahrenheit. Then you can set your time. The longest time I've smoked anything in this unit is my brisket. I also have a video where I cooked the brisket using this Masterbuilt electric smoker, and I cooked it for about 15 hours. So this thing was running for a long time, and it turned out awesome. There's an internal ambient temperature monitor in here. You can see the nub right there. I've never had issues with temperature control, and I've tested it independently, and it seems to be pretty good. Plus or minus maybe 5 degrees sometimes. Overall, I really like this unit. It's inexpensive. I purchased it for about $300 Canadian. I think you can get it for around $200 US nowadays, brand new. So it's inexpensive. It's a good way to get into barbecuing and smoking for beginners. And it's also a good model for experienced barbecuers to buy an electric smoker and basically make set it and forget it meals. It's very easy to use. It produces enough smoke. The disadvantages in my mind are sometimes it doesn't produce a smoke ring in meat. So if you're trying to get a smoke ring, then I would go for an offset smoker or something that actually combusts and burns the wood. This doesn't produce enough fire and flame and smoke to produce those smoke rings. And also you have some difficulties sometimes producing a lot of bark on your barbecued meats, especially if you're cooking ribs, for example, for maybe 3 or 4 hours when they're exposed to the smoke. You don't really get a lot of volume of smoke. So you need to leave meat in for longer if you want to get a good bark. Having said that, I have done brisket in here and I got a really good bark. As I said, there's a video of it, go check it out, and you can see just how much bark this thing can create. The advantages are cost, easy to use, set it and forget it, and also another advantage is it's very lightweight, it's easy to move around. I take this thing with me to the cabin every summer, and I can lift it up by myself, put it in my truck bed, and I'm off to the races. So it's very easy to take around. You can take it camping with you if you have a power source. So that's a huge plus in my mind. Overall, I would recommend this model to anybody who's looking for an inexpensive electric smoker. If you're looking for something a little bit bigger, Masterbuilt makes a larger 40-inch model, so check that out if you want to do bigger briskets or larger racks of ribs in it. I've never had an issue. I've simply just cut meat in a way that I can fit it into the actual smoker without having to have a 40-inch model. I've never had any space issues. This thing really gets the job done, and it's great for a starter smoker. If you're looking for something to get into the smoking game, definitely check this out. Definitely pick one up.